looking at how people recognize words. This time, we'll focus on two other important strategies, using context and using word parts. Using word parts to help figure out unfamiliar words is a technique we often use. For example, cardio in the words cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, and electrocardiogram tell me that the words have something to do with the heart.
And when we use the surrounding words to figure out what an unfamiliar word is, we are using context clues. For example, television has given us the sound bite. The news editor doesn't have time to air everything the governor says in his speech, so he selects just a sentence or two, maybe because the information is important to viewers or because it illustrates a particular point made in the news story. In any case, taking words out of context could completely change their meaning. Listen.
And I can promise you that I will oppose any tax increase for the people of this state.
You guessed it. It wasn't long after this that the governor approved some new taxes. Let's listen again to what he really said, and this time in context.
And I can promise you that I will oppose any tax increase for the people in this state in the coming year, until I'm certain that we have looked into all other options. The situation...
Knowing the context is important, whether we're listening or reading. The context can help us better understand what we read. It can also give us clues to help us recognize an unfamiliar word. Annette wants to be able to read to her children. So today she brought some storybooks to her lesson. Children's books are especially good because they usually have lots of pictures that can also serve as context clues. Let's watch as Maurice and Annette work on the story together.
You're doing fine, Annette. Now that we practice, why don't we try reading these 2 pages by yourself? And remember, try to read it the way you would say it. When you come to a comma, just pause a little bit.
Okay. It was 10 o'clock and the first people were coming into the toy store. The watchman heard someone talking. When he looked over at the dolls, there was the same little girl he saw only the day before.
Good. And you did just the right things with the commas, too. But take a look at this word. Now, people did come into the store in the morning, but what's another word for people in a store?
Customer. Customers. I should have got that one.
Well, you used another word, but it was one that made perfect sense in that place. So it means you're understanding what you're reading.
I guess so.
Trust me, the same thing happened here. You read was the same little girl he saw only the day before. Now, it could have said that. It makes perfect sense. But take a look at what it really says. Read this word.
Seen.
Now read the sentence again.
Okay. When he looked over at the dolls, there was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before.
Perfect. Now try the next page.
Okay. I am Lisa, she said to one of the dolls, and you are going home to live with me. Last night, my father and I carried.
Remember, if you don't know a word, try seeing blank and just keep reading. The rest of the sentence can sometimes help you get the word.
Okay. Last night, my father and I blank the money I had counted
the money I had saved, and it was enough to come back and buy you.
I got it.
Annette did get it, and let's look at how she did it. She first tried using her phonics skills to figure out the word, but that didn't work, at least not by itself. She knew the sound of C, but she had not yet learned that OU makes the sound OW. So she looked for clues in the rest of the sentence, and that's what using context is all about.